Last week we spoke about something that most people were saying that Kwamna, you're crazy to talk about this on TV. And the man who has been calling to insult me, I'm really beginning to enjoy the sort of things you talk about, because then they encourage me. They really encourage me. So don't stop. Keep doing it. He called me. He was telling me I was talking about eating vaginal fluids. But yes, vaginal fluids are very healthy. Now, if you have no infections, if the woman has no infections, the vagina is as good as the probiotic yogurt that you eat. I'm saying that if the woman has no infections, the vagina has good bacteria, good enough bacteria as the probiotic yogurt that you eat, and even better. That one is more natural. You get that? So if you want your husband, your husband to enjoy probiotic bacteria, probiotic yogurt, you want your husband to enjoy you, you have to ensure that you have no discharge. You have to ensure that your place is not smelling or tasting awful. If you want to save your husband from heart diseases, you want to save your husband from cancers, it also means that you should treat your private area very well. When you treat your private area very well, and that private area is healthy, and the man puts his mouth there and eats the yogurt and eats the lactobacillus bacteria in there, it prevents him from getting some sort of diseases and even some cancers. Research has shown this, and I'm sure we went through that last week. And then we also said that this same base, this same private area of the woman also helps in digestion. Yes, that bacteria there helps food digest properly. So I made it clear to you that once the place is neat, the man can eat it and you can taste it, and it doesn't spoil anything. And I also said that if you really want to be in a happy mood, yes, when you enjoy the bacteria, when you enjoy the woman, when you eat the vaginal fluids, it puts you in a happy mood. It makes you happy. If you are sad, it makes you happy, and that is something that you should consider. So the question here is really, if that place is safe, if that place is neat, if that place is strong, and the man is eating it, then your husband is living well. Now it also enhances your brain. Like I said, it improves your mental state. The bacteria the woman has under there improves the mental state of man. So it is not a bad thing, because the woman releases oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, and when you eat all these things, they are beneficial. They are beneficial to the body. They reduce pain, and now eating the vagina is something that people should start doing. So if it does that and it has all these benefits, then we should not worry ourselves. We should not worry ourselves. The most important thing is to keep the place neat, keep the place well. Now, if you have a problem, if you have a vaginal discharge, you feel that there's something going on wrong down there, just call my number 0244 66 10 11, and I'll get you somebody somewhere or something to treat it. 0244 66 10 11. I'm the lady's friend, I'm the lady's guy. If you can't share with your husband, if you can't share with anyone, share with me. We'll find a way to deal with it. We'll find a way to help you deal with it. So now, for some people, it becomes a problem when we talk about these things. But I can tell you that oral sex is not bad. So after talking about eating the vaginal fluids, today I want to talk about oral sex. I want people to understand oral sex. It is a part of the love making act. It is a part of the foreplay. And I tell you, if you incorporate oral sex in your relationship, it brings a lot of benefits to both you and the man. Now, these are some of the things that happens. Yes, I understand that oral sex is being seen as a taboo in many cultures, in many places. People say that oral sex is a taboo because your mouth that you use in worshiping God, now you're going to be using in having oral sex and stuff. Yes, people say it's a taboo, but I tell you that it should not be a taboo, or it should not be seen as a taboo. Now, some people claim that it is unhygienic to do stuff like that, but I tell you, if you want the place to become hygienic so you can have oral sex and have it safely, just call my number 0244 66 10 11. I'll help you treat that area so that you can be able to have oral sex and have that place hygienic enough that when you do it, you have no problem. People say it is immoral, but I tell you, it is not immoral. When you are married and you and your husband, you are having oral sex, there's nothing immoral about it. And if somebody says it will cause infertility, it's a lie. Oral sex won't cause infertility. Now, there are several other reasons why some people would want to abstain or stay away from oral sex. Simply because some people do not keep themselves neat. Some people also do not stay in monogamous relationships. So if you are not in a monogamous relationship, I would not recommend that you engage in anything like oral sex. Monogamous relationship is when a husband and a wife are living alone and they are engaging in lovemaking and sex alone, just the two of them. The man doesn't go out, the woman also doesn't go out. That is a monogamous relationship. But if you are cheating and she is cheating, it is not safe, because then you can get yourself infected from somewhere and come and infect your partner with it. But the best type of oral sex is the one that is experienced through mutual pleasuring, pleasuring, when both of you are ready and willing to engage in the act. That is when it becomes pleasuring, when both of you really want to engage in a love-making act. Now, when you are in a healthy relationship, you should make sure that you have each other, you have time for each other, and you give time for each other when it comes to your foreplay. So if you are incorporating oral sex in your foreplay, you would have to ensure that the man takes a stand, the woman has a stand, and then both of you get to enjoy the love-making act. Great. Now, we are still looking at understanding oral sex. Now, for first timers, it will you may create a little, or you may have a little psychological problem or some negativity surrounding what you are going to do. For instance, if it is the first time you are about to do it, you may be assuming that, oh, this act is something, or it's not hygienic. But like I told you, if the woman has treated herself well, if the man has no infections, I can tell you for a fact that the place is intact and the place is neat. If the place is treated well, there's nothing to worry about. But there are a few things that you should understand before commencing, or before you begin to have oral sex, you should ensure that both of you are clean. Like I said, both of you are clean and both of you are smelling well. Yes, your mate your mate should also expect that both of you will not become selfish, because if one wants to do it and the other person is not doing it, then the other person is being selfish, because all of us would want and all of us would love the oral pleasure. So we should add it as part of our oral sex practice. Now excuse me, hygiene is very, very important. It is important that all of you become hygienic. You take hygiene as a very, very important part when it comes to oral sex. If you have stained teeth, if you have chopped teeth, if you have rough tooth, if your fingers are not smooth, and those things can bring some complications. But it is important that once you keep all those things intact, there is nothing wrong with it. There's one thing that I would want everyone to understand. Alcohol. Let them see this one. Very important. Most people, before they engage in oral sex, would want to brush their teeth. I would caution you not to brush your teeth just before you engage in anything oral sex, simply because when you brush your teeth and you get any cuts or any bruises and you have any infections, it is easy to transmit that, or to get an infection through the oral sex, especially if the person has an infection. If you have gum bleeding, it is not healthy. So I will not recommend that you brush your teeth before you engage in oral sex. It could lead to an infection. And then also, some people would want to use a mouthwash. Some mouthwashes are so strong that they can cut your lips, they can cut part of your tongue, or give you some sore, some little sores in the mouth or on the tongue. And if there's any infection, it can easily be transmitted through there. So it is important that you check that. You can just drink some tea or chew a gum that is minty, and use something that has a very fine smell, so that you don't feel that food that you just ate. Most times people go to eat, and after eating they just want to come and make love. You remember the do's and don'ts when I was talking about the do's and don'ts before you make love? I said that when you make love, when you eat, you should wait at least 10 to 20 minutes before you engage in anything sexual. So by that time, you should have washed your mouth well, the food would have gone down well, and everything would have been fine. And then if you chew a gum, you would have removed all the food particles. Because if you have food in your mouth and you take it around the woman's private area, you would introduce the food into the private area. And I can assure you, that private area of the woman doesn't like food, it doesn't like pizza, it doesn't like meat, it doesn't like chicken. Your tongue is just enough. But if your mouth has all that and you transmit it in there, it becomes something that would rather give her an infection, and that is not what we want. So make sure that you wash your mouth, just gargle with water, and make sure everything in there is intact. Beautiful. Now, after you have you would want to help your partner receive it just as you give it. Everybody wants to play a role. Mutual pleasuring is what I was talking about. And when you satisfy your partner through oral sex, your partner also satisfies you. And then it is very important that you shave that area. You shave that area prior or some hours before you engage in that act, so that you don't have the hair in there choking your mate. And then also, you should also make sure that if you are not shaving the area, then you should also make sure that you brush. If you have enough hair there, you make sure you brush that area, so that the hair that you have will not choke the the woman. The hair you have will not choke the woman. It's very important that you take note of that. And then also, you should also, excuse me, you should partner with, if your partner has issues with, what do you call it, this oral sex thing, it's important that both of you discuss it, understand, and make a decision as to whether you would want to get into it or you don't want to get into it. It's very important that you have that as part of your oral sex tip. Now, still understanding oral sex. Now, there's one thing that you should do. Get a towel under here. Get a towel under here. I mean, get a towel here under here. If you don't want to swallow all that is coming, just get a towel under here and then just drip the saliva that comes on your mouth down on the saliva, into the towel. Just once you get on here, put a towel under here. So if you don't want to swallow, even if you don't want to swallow, just drop the saliva down on the vaginal canal, down all the way down through the anal and where the buttocks is, so it drops into the towel so that you don't have anything there. And then also, while you are doing that, take quick glances at her face and then check whether she is really responding to what you are doing. Also, you need to exercise your jaw, you need to exercise your tongue, you need to practice some tongue kung fu to be able to have good oral sex. So today, I am going to introduce to you some basics in tongue kung fu. We'll do tongue kung fu as a whole lesson on adults class. But today, I'm going to take you through some few basic tips on tongue kung fu, and I'm sure somebody will say yes. So you can be doing while you are licking the woman, you can either lick the clitoris, you can either lick part of the vulva, you can either lick the whole thing, and then you can also lick the clitoris at the same time. Insert your finger either into the vagina at the G spot, or you know where the G spot is. If you don't know, well, I think I was talking about the G spot here, but we'll get into further details as we progress in this course. So students of the adults class will know that women usually want to be very clean, so they would want to shower down before they engage in anything oral. And then if you are a beginner, like students who are undergrads, oral sex undergrads, so this one, if you're teaching beginners, undergrads, you have to make sure that you kiss down the stomach, you kiss down the inner thigh, you make sure you hear the morning sound and all the noise, and you hear her enjoying it. It's very important. You use your tongue, you lick around the clitoris for a few minutes before you insert your finger, and then also you go slow and observe the woman, and also relax, help the woman relax. Don't scratch. Okay, now there's various options that you can use when it comes to the licking option. We are going to go through this into much more details. You can lick up left and right, you can lift up and down, you can lick in circles, and then also you can do you can also suck. So we can, the only thing I don't want my students to be doing is to be flipping the tongue. Is like what you see in the porn. That is not real. That is just doing something for people to see that something is happening. Like they lick the clitoris and then they're flipping the tongue that way. It is irritating. You either do it the left and right, round, up and down with the tongue. That is how you do it. But if you're flicking, it normally irritates the woman. And if the woman is in a certain rhythm and you're not able to flick or flip in a rhythm, you irritate the woman. So my students should watch that so that they don't get themselves involved in watching porn and assuming that what they see in porn is real. Yeah. So undergrads, you should understand that you should slide in and out. You can slide in and out. You can rub the top, you can rub the side, and also you can try the tongue options, try the finger options, try whatever options until you find the combinations that make the woman feel comfortable. So once you get what combinations of finger and tongue movement that makes the woman feel comfortable, then you are set and you are ready to go. Then you are set and ready to go. All right, so we are moving on. Oral sex still for undergraduates. Yeah, if you do a great job, yes, she will push your head away when she gets a clitoral orgasm. That is the first thing that you should know, that once you do a great job, she'll push your head away, because once the place becomes extremely sensitive, she would want you to what do you call it, move away. She will not want you to touch that area again. She will want you to move to another area. So do yourself the favor, just check and ensure that the woman is in and enjoying what you're doing. Just don't go do anything that she's not enjoying. Check once in a while, observe the way she's moving, observe the way she's moving towards what you're saying. Women like to know, they would like to know that they are feeling good. They would like you to know that they are feeling good, especially when you're doing those things to them. So it's important that you stick to that. Now, tongue kung fu. Tongue kung fu, like I said, I'm going to show you some basics of tongue kung fu. Now, when I say tongue kung fu is just twisting and turning of the tongue in a way to stimulate or use it for oral sex. Now, the tongue is divided into parts. Tongue kung fu is an ancient Chinese act, actually an ancient Chinese act, and the tongue has reflex points. At the tip of the tongue, it is connected to the heart. That is why when you are sipping a cup of tea and it burns you, you feel it deep in your heart, because the tip of the tongue is connected to your heart. And then just behind the tip of the tongue, it's connected to your lung. And then in the middle of your tongue, you have your spleen and your stomach connected there. And then on the side of the tongue, you have your liver and your gallbladder. And at the end of your tongue, you have your kidney, your bladder, and your intestine. So you see, these are pressure points that you have on the tongue. So using the tongue itself, using the tip of the tongue itself can be very, very important, because it has a direct link to the heart. So you need to be skillful so that you don't bite the person's lips. You need to be skillful so that you don't feel what they call it, tired or get jaw locks, because normally those who are beginners in oral sex, once you're having oral sex and then you open your jaw and then you're doing the licking, you see your jaw locks because you feel jaw pain in the jaw, and then it becomes unpleasant or unpleasurable doing the sex anymore. But once you have trained your tongue, once you have mastered your act in tongue kung fu, you should be able to have oral sex or pleasure somebody using the tongue without having any pain at all. Now, let's look at some basic tongue kung fu exercises. You stick out your tongue. You stick out your tongue. Yes, like you see there. Push your tongue forward. You push your tongue forward. Push your tongue forward. I can see somebody practicing in my studio here. Push your tongue forward, push it forward. And then also, you stick your tongue forward as far as you can. Stick the tongue forward as far as you can. Put something flat on it. Put something flat on the tongue. You push your tongue forward, stick something flat on it. And when you put that flat thing on it, use your tongue to lift it up. Use your tongue to push that flat thing up. You are exercising the muscle inside the tongue. That is it. So you push your tongue up, and then you put something flat on it. It can be the back of a spoon, and then when you put the back of the spoon on it, then you try to lift the spoon up. By so doing, you are strengthening the muscle inside the tongue. You are strengthening the muscle inside the tongue. This, you can push, you can stretch and hold for 2 seconds. You relax, you stretch, you hold you push up the spoon for 3 seconds. So I'm saying that stick your tongue out, place a spoon on top, and then use the tip of the tongue to raise the back of the spoon. And you raise it up, you count, you hold for 2 seconds, you bring it down. You raise it up, you hold for 2 seconds, you bring it down. You raise it up, you hold for 2 seconds, you bring it down. And you can do that 3 sets, 4 sets in the morning. And then as you continue to practice, the tongue becomes strong. Now, so you can do, like I'm saying, you can do 5 sets in the morning, 5 sets in the evening. And then also, this is the next exercise. You call it the tongue push-up. You press your tongue up, and then you place something on it, on the tongue. You place it on, and then you hold, you press down and hold your tongue. You press down, hold it down for 1 second, and then you release. You press it down, hold for 1 second, you release, and you repeat that 5 times. That one we call the tongue push-up. And then we have the tongue push to the side. So you switch your tongue to the left, and then you switch your tongue to the right. You extend your tongue to the extreme left, you extend your tongue to the extreme right. Extend your tongue to the extreme left, extend your tongue to the extreme right. All you are doing is exercising the tongue muscle. And you stretch to the extreme left, you hold for 1 second. You extend to the extreme left, you hold for 1 second. Now I'm going to show you one last one, and then that one, after this one, we'll jump and then we'll move on, because our time is fast when there are other things we would want to look at. So here, you push your tongue inside your cheek, inside the cheek. You put the tongue inside the cheek, and then you use your tongue to push your cheek out. And then while you're pushing your cheek out, you use your finger to press it down. So you push your tongue in, and then you press your hand on the cheek. So your tongue will be pushing your hand away from your cheek. That is a very good exercise for the tongue. That's a very, very good exercise for the tongue. And then also, you can also do the tongue dive. The tongue dive. The tongue dive is this. This is a tongue dive. You shoot your tongue out. You shoot your tongue out using your tongue. You straighten it. You fully strengthen it. Stretch it out directly like a dive. Use that in you. When we are teaching you. We are teaching you all the basics that you need to know to engage in very good oral sex. If you really want to get it, you should learn these basic tips. Like I said, it's an Asian Chinese act, and you really need to get some of these basic things. So you shoot your tongue out, shoot it out, bring it in. Shoot your tongue out, bring it in again. Shoot your tongue out, bring it in. So it's like you're diving. We call that the tongue dive. And then also, we also have the flip. You flip your tongue up, you flip it down. You flip it up, you flip it down. You flip it up, you flip it down. And then also, you flip your tongue in circles. You flip your tongue in circles. And then when you have done the tongue in circles, you flatter it. You flatter it. You flatter the tongue. Flap, 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 flap. Okay, so yeah, like a vibrator. Flap, 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 flap. Yeah, keep going, flap, 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 flap. Keep going. Keep flattering. Yes, so these are some tongue kung fu exercises. Also, you can also stick the tongue out, let it go all the way down. We call that the tongue extension. You pull the tongue all the way down. Yes, all the way down, like you want your tongue out of the lips to come and touch your chin. Yeah, push it down. Push it down. Prolong the tongue between the lips. Prolong it. Let it go. Stick it out as far as you can. As far as you can. And then you hold for 5 seconds. Hold for 5 seconds. And then bring it back. And then stick it out. Stick it out as far as you can. Hold it back. Stick it out. Yes. Hold it back. So you practice this. I am sure you would want to look at this one too. You place your tongue at the roof of your mouth, and then you push your tongue up as if you are pushing the roof of your mouth up with your tongue. So let's see you do that. Elko, are you doing it? Yeah, so yeah, push it up, and then you bring it down, extend it down, and then relax. So push it to the roof of your mouth. Push. 1, 2, 3. Now bring it back. And then bring it out. Stretch down. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Relax. 1, 2, 3. Place your tongue at the roof of your mouth again. Push it up. Push. 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 On the roof. Push. Push. Okay. Relax. Stretch it out. Out of your mouth. Out of your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Inside. Relax. So now place the tongue at the tip of your teeth. Press it hard. Press it hard at the tip. Press it hard. So these are some basic tongue kung fu tips that everyone who really wants to learn to have oral sex and do and not have pain in the tongue or pain in the jaw can practice. So let me just skip the others, and there are some more. Now let's look at some basic things you can do if you are having you are getting into cunnilingus. A cunnilingus is just simply a man giving the woman love making, licking the place. It's going to be licking it, or because listen, if you don't lick it, it can't lick itself. It's a fact. The thing can't lick itself. You have to lick it, and I've told you that it's very healthy when you lick it. So this is for the special edition for Vows Day. Those who are married, this is for you. There's a misconception about this Vows Day thing. It is not a day for lovers. It's a day for married couples, because Saint Valentine was imprisoned and killed because he was marrying people in private, in secret. When men were asked to go to war and not get married, because once they go to war and they are already married, they were thinking about their wives at home. And Saint Valentine was saying that this is not right. If a man wants to marry, allow him to marry. So even when the emperor at that time was saying that don't marry them, Saint Valentine would secretly marry them, and because of that he was jailed and he was executed on the 14th of February. So if you are remembering 14th of February, it is not a day set aside for lovers. It is a day to remember marriage. Awarufu, not for impanatri. Don't get it wrong. Now, this is the basic. You lie for beginners. All you do is the woman lies down, you lie on the side, and then you flick your tongue up and down on the clitoris and the clitoral hood. You flick your tongue up and down across the clitoris. You flick your tongue. Hey, why is my flicking? You flick your tongue across the clitoris. All right, and then there is this one, the aphrodisiac. Okay, so this, you use your tongue to part the vaginal vulva. That is the second technique. The first technique is to flick on the clitoris. The second technique is to flip on the vulva. So you move your tongue on the vulva up and down, up and down. You see, I've been telling you that I've not started teaching you sex yet, and I'm sure some of you are even surprised that I'm going this this is just because of the Valentine's Day. I'm doing this because of Valentine's Day, but we are looking for sponsors to sponsor this show so we can do proper education on sex. We want to teach you the correct way of doing things. What you hear and what you watch on porn and stuff are just acting. They are not real. Many people are out there talking all sorts of things, doing all sorts of funny stuff. This is the real deal. This is the real education. I am teaching you the real thing, practical stuff, live here on JNTV's Adult Class. And me, myself, Mr. Smooth, I'm the one doing it. And I'm saying that oral sex, I've taught you the first thing, the first one you learn as a beginner is flipping on the clitoris and the clitoral hood. The second one is parting your tongue on the vulva. Parting your tongue on the vulva. The third one is breathing on the mumps and the vulva. So all you do is you take your mouth, you suck the whole clitoris and the clitoral hood, you suck it into your mouth. When you release it, you breathe through your mouth on the clitoris. You suck the clitoris and the clitoral hood into your mouth. When you release it, you breathe. So when you are sucking it, you hold your breath, you suck it into your mouth, you release it, and then you breathe onto it. And then you continue to do that practice. So what you do is you flick on the clitoris with your tongue, you part the middle of the vulva, and then next you hold the clitoris and the clitoral hood, you suck into your mouth, and then you breathe onto it. You breathe onto it. Now the third or the next basic thing is, one, you cover the clitoris, the entire clitoris. I mean, in this whole process, like sucking it, all you do is you cover the whole clitoris with your mouth, and you make the sound while you're sucking it. You make that sound while you're sucking it. You vibrate your tongue a little on the clitoris, and then you stimulate the clitoris. You can even stimulate the clitoris a little with your nose, the tip of your nose. And then also, you can also add some very playful, very adventurous, whatever way you want to. And then also, you can insert 2 fingers, 1 finger, depending on the woman. If the woman is okay with it, you can insert a finger while you're doing the licking. These 2 basic things I've taught you, or 3 basic things I've taught you, you can do that one. And then also, you can add your fingers to it. First of all, you can use 1 finger. If you want to use 2 fingers, you would have to insert the finger this way down. This way down, you press down, you feel a little mushy area there. When you press it, it will allow the vaginal canal to open a little more. Then once it opens a little more, then you can add the second finger, and then you can continue to either do in, or you can still do the come here for the G-spot while you still lick the clitoris. And with all this, the woman has to be neat. Her vagina has to be clean. And I'm saying that if you have any vaginal discharges, if you have any vaginal smell, you can enjoy all these things I'm talking about. Your husband won't want to do these things to you. So if you have such discharges, my number is 0244 66 10 11. Call me, let's talk. Call me, let's talk. Now, also, you also need to ensure that you cover your teeth. The man who is doing the oral sex needs to cover your teeth. You need to move your mouth, your teeth inside, so that you don't bite the clitoris. You have to make sure that your teeth is away from your lips and your tongue, so you don't bite either the clitoris or the labia or anything. You don't have to bite, you don't have to scratch, and you have to suck it gently, and you have to stimulate it gently, and then when you are running your tongue, run your tongue on it. You don't have to bite. Basically, that is what you need to look at, and you see the woman really enjoying what you are doing. Now you can also do several other things. The alternative one is to put your tongue flat on the clitoris and be flipping. You'll be hitting the clitoris with your tongue. You can be doing that, hitting the clitoris with the tongue, and that comes with you training the tongue. You should learn the tongue kung fu to be able to achieve that. All right, so Echo, yes. Okay, one last one, and then we can end the class and become interactive with you, activate the phone lines and talk to you. Okay, so while you are doing all this, don't forget to hold the buttocks of the woman. Don't leave the woman's thumb. Don't leave the woman's toe. Don't leave the woman's perineum. Don't leave it. Also, you have to remember the nipple of the breast. You have to remember to touch those areas too, because those areas are sensitive. So don't over concentrate only on the clitoris. Maybe it's your first time, so don't over concentrate on only those sides. The shoulders, the back, all those areas are very, very important in this act. So make sure that you cover it up well. And then also, I keep saying that your fingernails should be well kept. You shouldn't have long nails. You shouldn't have dirt in your fingers. You shouldn't have rough hands. Your hands should be as smooth as smooth. Your fingernails should be as smooth as smooth. And then also, the woman should be comfortable with what you are doing. Now, I keep saying that we don't need tight vaginas. We need strong vaginas. So if you have, I have this egg here that I still would want women to start understanding that there's this egg that you can use in exercising the vagina. And if you have given birth before, or you are a virgin, or you are in a relationship and have broken off the relationship for a long while, and you are not sexually active, if you are sexually inactive and your pelvic floor muscles are not active, your pelvic floor muscles will become weak. When your pelvic floor muscles become weak, you will not enjoy sex. And anyone who says that me feeling with chipa, it takes a long time before I get aroused, it simply means that your pelvic floor muscles are weak. It could even mean that your vaginal rugi is gone flat, or vaginal rugi is gone flat. So it's important that you reactivate and rejuvenate yourself as a woman. You're doing the egg exercise. I may be the first person to introduce this egg into this country, but I know there are a lot of copycats around, so I'm being very careful handling my egg. So if you want some of the egg, my number is 0244 66 1011. If you want all the regime, how you are going to train the exercise, how you're going to train the vagina so the vagina becomes strong instead of tight. Whether you are a young girl virgin, whether you are in your postmenopausal age or menopausal age, you still need to exercise. If you go for jogging alone, it is not enough, because jogging will build your thigh, will build your arm, and will build your cardio. But what about that very, very private area, which is the most important part of you? You don't touch it. Yes, these exercises are meant for you to become a better woman, to become a sweeter woman. And I tell you, a woman with a strong vagina, the husband cannot cheat on her, because once we get there and you are able to grab the tool and hold it tight, we can't cheat on you. 0244 66 1011 is my contact. All right, so we'll end the class for today. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we would activate the phone lines and we'll become interactive with you. So stick